tax credit. So I'm gonna hop into it. Hey guys, what's going on? My name is Rick. I'm a financial coach and the owner of the Debt Free Mafia, here to help you be smarter with your finances, live debt-free, and leave a legacy to your children's children. I'm so glad you stopped by today. Today we're going to talk about, hey, should you opt out of that child tax credit that's coming up? And that's a really good question. So it seems like a really good thing, right? It's typical politics, right? They put this really fancy, awesome name on it that sounds like it's there to help you, when underneath there's some things that aren't clarified, right? So this thing is called the American Rescue Plan. So it sounds like, yes, they're going to come and rescue us, right? After we've been through this pandemic and had some economical issues and stuff, that they're here to rescue us. So I kind of want to talk about why you probably want to opt out in certain scenarios and why you could take it in other scenarios. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. I found an article that was probably the clearest when explaining it. I looked at several articles as I was studying it. This is probably the best one. So it's by US News. I'm going to share my screen with you, and we're going to kind of go through it. I'm just going to talk through what they're saying and kind of explain it just a little bit. So let me go ahead. I'm going to share my screen. What's up, Zach Jones? How's it going, man? So we got here, let me see, make sure you can see that. You can see it pretty good, I think. So we're going to start off with this. So there's kind of this question like, hey, should you opt out or not? Reason being is there's some people that are. So essentially what this is coming down to is normally, without the American Rescue Plan, the government typically provides a $2,000 credit towards children. But with this American Rescue Plan, it's going to be $3,000 for children's ages 16 to 17 and $3,600 for any kiddos under 6. So that's kind of like, you can have an idea of what you're going to qualify for what children. So you get a tax credit for each child that you have, right? So if you have 2 kiddos, say they're 11 years old, you got twins, that would be $6,000 in tax credit that you would be getting on your taxes. However, what they're doing with this American Rescue Plan is they're essentially going to offer it as an advance. So if you're not familiar with what an advance is, I'm familiar with it because I've got a music background, but essentially what an advance is what they're going to do is they're going to pay you up front for it, and then on the back end you'll find out whether or not they paid you too much. So there's instances where you could potentially not qualify for these or qualify wholly for these numbers that they've given you in the American Rescue Plan. If that happens, guess what? You got to pay it back. So that's why I've been cautioning a lot of my clients, hey, let's be careful on this, because I don't want you to be taking money that you haven't officially, quote unquote, earned. Granted, it's part of taxes, right? But what I don't like advances because you never earned it. You're getting money up front. It's essentially a loan. It's a loan almost, and it doesn't have interest or anything like that. What I'm cautioning people on is, hey, what they're going to do. So let me explain. Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. So this advance is not going to be like, hey, they're going to pay you, $3,000 or $3,600 up front. What they're going to do is they're going to start sending you checks for $300 every month up until next year, until your credit's fulfilled or whatever. So why I've been cautioning people is be careful with that, because there's a chance that you could not qualify depending on your taxes from last year. So they'll be giving you your advance not knowing what your taxes or what your income was this year. So there's always a chance that if you were to switch income tax brackets, there's a chance that you could owe more in taxes, therefore not qualify for certain parts of this American Rescue Plan, and therefore have to pay it back. So I always really caution people, hey, be careful with this, because there's a chance that you could end up owing in the long run. So the thing that I think is really crazy to me, and this is kind of how to get around it, but the thing that's crazy to me is you're automatically opted into this advance. You're automatically opted into this advance because of the American Rescue Plan. So, and a lot of people don't realize this, so they're going to start getting payments for stuff that they didn't understand. Some people know about this, some don't. Also, another thing I should note is if you had a child this year, which we did, but if you had a child this year, you won't get the advancements for that child. The only way you can get the advancements for that child is going to the tax portal and essentially registering them and saying, here, I have a child this year, I want the advancements this year. again, I'm cautioning people against that just because I would rather you get to your taxes next year and find out you got a big credit waiting on yourself than get to your taxes next year and realize you owe more on your taxes because you didn't qualify fully for the child tax credit. So again, normally it's $2,000, but that $2,000 just comes as essentially a write-off on your taxes. But the way they're doing it this year is to try to get some money in people's pockets sooner. However, again, I'll tell you again, there's a chance that you might not qualify, and you know how the IRS works. They want you to calculate on your own how much money you owe them without telling you, and then eventually they say, oh yeah, you didn't pay us enough, or oh yeah, you paid us too much. You're like, well, why couldn't you just tell me the number in the first place, you know? So anyways, that's why I want most people to be cautious about that. So let's say, hey, I don't like to count my chickens before they hatch. I am going to want to opt out. So the way you're gonna go to opt out, I'll scroll down here. I'm also gonna link this video. Sorry, I'm gonna link this article in the video so that way you can go and check it out yourself. In that way you can kind of read through it and what stipulations might apply to you personally on your situation, because everybody's a little bit different. But I wanted to kind of talk about this. So if you want to opt out, you have to make the request through the IRS Child Tax Credit Update portal. That's a mouthful. But yeah, that's where you're going to want to go. I'll bring this up. This is what it looks like, Child Tax Update portal. So I want you to go through this, and I think you have to go down here to manage advance payments, right? So you have to go there and say, I don't want these. If you don't want them. Again, you can risk it if you want to. Most people aren't going to have issues with the advance payments. A lot of people like the idea of getting the money sooner so that they can start investing it or paying off bills that have racked up over coronavirus. I get it. If you're good with your money and you feel like you're in a good spot, you know, that's something you might be able to risk, especially if you've got an emergency fund. But the last thing I want my clients who have small emergency funds or no emergency funds is for them to get stuck with a giant bill all of a sudden, because owing money to the IRS is not fun. So this is where you go to change it. I can also link this in the bottom of the video. It'll be down there for you, so that if you want to just go straight there, go ahead and check it out. And that way you can go and either opt out, or if you want to stay in, you don't have to do anything. You automatically be there. They're going to go off of either 2019's tax returns or 2020 if you haven't filed, or sorry, 2019 if you haven't filed yet, 2020 if you have filed. So that's kind of what they're going to be going off and basing this payment off of. Again, I will link this below so that you guys have a chance to kind of go through and get an idea of what qualifies you. So let me know kind of in the comments below, do you plan on opting out or do you plan on staying? What are your thoughts on this this advancement, which is something that they're doing that's kind of new? Again, it's to try to help with corona relief. However, I think unfortunately it's going to burn some people in the long run. So let me know what you think there. I'd love it. Guys, if you are down with the Debt Free Vibe, be sure to hit subscribe. We talk about debt-free living. We talk about making smart decisions with our money, and above everything else, we talk about having good behavior with our money. So can't encourage you to do that enough. Guys, I appreciate you so much for stopping by. Guys, again, thank you.